Okay, Dan, tell me, how do you find living with dementia? Can you tell somebody who doesn't understand it what it's like?
Well, it's it's difficult, right? For a start, it's when you've been normal all your life, and all of a sudden this thing comes along, and there are so many things that you cannot do that I used to be able to do. For instance, I can't drive. I can't play golf. I can't do all the things I used to do, and that's one of the things that really troubles me.
And how long have you had this, and when did you first start to notice it? Can you remember?
Well, I didn't notice it at all, but my darling wife. When did you first notice it, Maureen?
The year 2000 or 2001.
About 2001.
And what way did
Did it
what
affect
way
me?
did you see it? Yeah, what way did it affect you?
Well, I just got to the stage when I wasn't sure of anything. And normally I'd be on top of anything I was doing, and I was good at what I did. But I just felt I wasn't right, and I couldn't figure out why I wasn't right. I didn't feel sick. You know, I didn't have a sickness that you could put a name on and say, oh, that's what's wrong with me. I didn't know what was wrong with me. And so that's the start of it anyway. And then I realised, I don't know how I discovered it, but I realised that there was something serious about me. I wasn't the same as I always was. I couldn't do things around the house that I would normally do. Fortunately, I have a good wife who cares for me and looks after me. And sometimes that gives me some stress because she's under a lot of stress. It's not easy to deal with someone who has this, and so on. But and that's what I worry about is Marian's stress over how I am, because I can't do all the things I used to do, and can't drive. I can't do all these things.
And would memory be a big part of it?
Memory
Do you
is a
forget?
huge thing. I have absolutely no memories of anything. Now, when I retired from work, we travelled the world, Maureen and I, and Maureen has all the photographs around the house, and that doesn't do anything for me. It upsets me because I can't remember them. I know I've been there, but I don't know anything about where I was or the people we met or anything else. So I lost all that kind of thing. And what else is there now?
Would it be day-to-day stuff? Would you remember day-to-day things, or?
Day to day is not bad. I mean, if it's only day to day, I will usually be able to remember it. Not all of the time now, not all of the time, but it is a burden. It's a loss. That's the best way to put it. It's a loss. I just cannot remember.
But you seem to deal with it very well.
Well, Maureen would be better. I mean, I'd say I am, but I don't know. Maureen would be better. You'd be better asking her about whether I'm dealing with it well. Am I dealing with this? Do I? Right. Okay.
Good humoured.
Well, it was always good humoured, and I wouldn't like to be any. No. I have a nice girl here, and I want to impress her, for Christ's sake. Will you?
So, Stan, tell me, like, when you do realise it, how does it make you, or how did you feel about it, and how do you feel when you think about it?
Well, when I think about it, I think the only way I like to think about it is, well, at least there's people worse than me. That's the first thing I think about. And I'm convinced that there are lots of people. And now that we're all together, I notice it even more. That I'm not as bad as some of the people are. And some of them are in an awful mess. So I wouldn't know about that kind of thing,
And what do you think could be done to help people with dementia more? I mean, there is no cure, but is there anything you could do?
I know there's no cure. Well, why is there no cure? Is there some reason why there's no cure? That they just haven't found it? Is that it?
I think so.
You don't know?
I mean, like from the point of view support for, say, the likes of Maureen or people who care for people?
Oh, well, I don't think there's enough I don't think there's enough. No, I know there are not a very nice carers around, but there's only Maureen and I in the house. And I mean, if Maureen had it, I wouldn't be able to deal with it. I don't think I would be. It would be possible for me to deal with it. It's not. It's very difficult for a man to to care for a woman, because we're all different, of course. But I don't think I would be able to do that now. So Maureen deals with me very well. Now, and sometimes it's difficult for her, you know.
And finally, just to go over the type of things that you miss doing that you can't do and why you can't do them, would you go through them again with me?
Well, I can't drive, because when I got this, I knew I wasn't driving properly, and I decided that's it. Actually, my granddaughter that I used to take out every Saturday, and bring her off for a drive and all these places, and she came home one evening and she told her dad, my son, that she didn't want to come out with me anymore. And my son came down to the house and he said, come on, Dad, we'll go for a drive. And when he saw the way I was driving, he said to me, you shouldn't be driving. And that was the day I stopped driving, because I wasn't right on the roads. And I was a good driver, normally, but I lost all that. Now, I can't read. I was an avid reader. I would read at least 5 books a week, and I loved reading. But when I sit down to read now, and within 5 minutes, it just goes blank. Now, I don't know why that is or what the reason is, but it just goes blank and it's gone. So I missed that badly, very badly. And then the golf, of course, that's, I lost all that kind of thing. And when you lose that, you lose all the mates you had, and, and so on and so on. So there's a lot of loss in it in that sense,
But you're still very positive.
Well, I reckon I have to be positive. I mean, I'm being here today, and I see people who are a lot worse than I am, and they're still going around, and it's lovely to be able to see them here and being a part of this. But, so I just say, look, I'm okay as I am. I'll soldier on the way I am, and if something comes up that's going to help me, I'd be the first to say, look, I'll be a guinea pig. That's it.
That was brilliant.
Well,
that was fantastic.
well, I'm glad you're...
I knew that. I knew, sure, there was always something wrong with Anne.